Welcome to Aunty K's, your favorite radical queer indigenous auntie, bringing you tarot every day. Hi folks, and welcome to Aunty K's. I spent my day off stacking wood and watching YouTube, TarotTube, and I came across the You and Tarot tag on Candy, Soul, and Soil, which was the first time I came across the channel, and I so enjoyed. And the tag is by AardeKracht, Earth Power, and I probably said it wrong, and I apologize for that. And I was like, this is an amazing tag. It's beautiful. It's vulnerable. I'm going to do it. And so I'm going to turn this camera around and we are going to see my choices in this tag and the tarot's choices for me in this tag. Let's get at it. So here we are. I'm, of course, going to use the Land Back Tarot and Oracle of Colonization as a deck that I'm drawing from for myself. This is a deck I created, and it depicts a number of friends and family and community members. So it seemed like a practical choice, with the exception of one card, which we're going to get through. All right. So in this tag, you have 5 questions and about who you are, using the tarot cards to explain who you are. And then you take a second deck and shuffle it up and let tarot answer how tarot feels about your choices. So the first one is how society sees you. You know, this took a bit of thought and stuff. At first I was like, the tower. But actually, I went with strength. I'm a Leo rising. I'm seen frequently in society as that leader, and as a Leo rising, that's not necessarily how I see myself. It's a role I see that I step into when I have to, versus you know, my true embodiment of myself. My son's in Gemini, and I really see myself more as a Gemini, and I see my Leo rising as, you know, what I put on to get by in this world. And I struggle actually with being seen as a Leo. As an activist, it's often meant I felt pushed or expected to stand and step into more predominant roles than I actually wanted to. You know, people would be like, oh, well, of course you can do that because this is who you are. And I'm screaming internally, I'm not, I'm just doing it because I have to, because somebody has to. So let us shuffle with the next World Tarot and see, you know, what tarot, what the messengers are going to bring forward in the tarot deck as this. All right. So what we have here is it's a death card. This is fascinating. And it goes together. You know, the death card is coming in and going to change things no matter what. Whether you like it or not, whether folks are ready for it or not, death is coming in and forcing that change through. And that actually goes really well with, you know, my explanation of why I chose the Strength card. But yeah, I do say, like, I don't care if you're ready for change. I'm forcing this through. I'm making you face it. I'm going to make you face it blunt and harshly. You're probably going to cry, but trust me, it's for the best. And so this is the Next World Tarot by Christy C Road up against my Land Back Tarot and Oracle of Colonization. All right, the next one up is how your family sees you. I have 2 cards chosen for a reason. I am a scoop survivor. I was raised in a scoop family. And then there's the family I actually associate with and talk to, which is my children. And so I've chosen one to represent how my adult children see me, and I've chosen one to represent how my scoop family sees me. Now, originally, I was like, they see me as a devil. But I think they don't actually see me as holding that much power, and they really actually know very little about my life. I don't talk to them about shit. So what card did fit, I decolonized in my deck, and it didn't work, and same with Next World Tarot. So I've picked a card from Mystic Medleys because it's pretty typical. I think my scoop family actually sees me as the 5 of Pentacles, as this poor loser nobody. So I was scooped by, religious folks, in a big white purity movement. And I was raised being told that I would go to hell because I'm half Native. And I was also raised being told, poor people are poor because they're not right with God. And rich people are prosperous because they're right with God. and I am poor, which is fine. I'm anti-capitalist. I believe in decolonization. I want to survive in this world, but I actually have no intent of being rich. I think they see me as this through their warped religious white views. In fact, my older nieces have told me that when they were children, their parents would tell them, if you're not right with God, you'll end up poor and in the ghetto like your aunt. So that's how I'm seeing that. We'll do this one, and then we'll do how my kids see me. So we are going to shuffle up the Next World Tarot and see how it is that my adopted family, my scoop family, sees me. Oh, and also drop a card as well as doing all of that. The 5 of Pentacles. I'm not incorrect. And I'm unsurprised. So I think my children possibly see me as the Queen of Swords or Aunty of Weapons. I think they realize that everything is coming from my heart and soul, even if it seems a little cold and logical, and that's how I've dealt with the hurts and pains of my heart. When my adult kids were younger, I went through a really bad custody battle and lost 2 of my children for a time. Got dragged through the mud, accused of being a drug addict and a drug dealer, until my worker at the Native Center discovered that my ex-mother-in-law was friends with the CAS worker making these accusations. And she complained to the top. CAS is Children's Services in so-called Canada, and got me a new worker. And then that worker came in and was like, this doesn't make sense. This is not a mom who's doing drugs or dealing drugs or hanging out with drug dealers or any of that, and closed the file. But it was too late. And that injury to my heart, and not seeing my 2 at the time youngest children for a prolonged period of time, it was a trauma. It was compounded by as being scoop survivor, so it felt very cyclical, and it impacted my parenting. But I think that they know my heart is there and was always fighting for them. It's just injured. Okay. So, next World Tarot. Okay. Two of Swords. This isn't so far off. They see me as somebody who's had to make really clear cut decisions and who didn't always have the luxury of deciding with my heart alone, and that I had to be logical and clear cut at times. They possibly don't feel like I always see them. And that I'm just looking at the decision. And that's also true of how I parented them as an Indigenous woman and scoop survivor in so-called Canada. Like all scoop survivors, I have a birth alert attached to my health card. And I frequently had to make decisions in parenting that wasn't about what was best for me or best for my kids, but what wouldn't draw the judgment of Karen. And then hence negative. It was for the safety of my family. Okay. How friends see you. I chose the 5 of arrows or wands. I think my friends see me as a person who has your back. That, you know, when shit's going down, I will show up and fight for you. And fight for you. I will put myself on the line and fight for you. And again, this is very similar to feeling, like I'm pushed into the strength card. I get asked to show up, to the fight. And sometimes I'm tired and I don't want to, but I will. While I feel honored that folks see me as this, I also sometimes heavily wish they didn't. Or wish I wasn't the one called. So let us see what the next World Tarot has to come forward in this card again. Whoops. Oh. The Page of Swords and the King of Cups. The Page of Swords, the Hall of Action. I think they see me as a person out there leading the fight rather than joining when called. Which goes back to the Leo rising moments. In fact, yeah. All right. Just following that. That's so interesting that I see my friends as being like, and Aunty K is the one we call when we got a fight going down, and they see me as, and Aunty K is going to be the first one out there leading that fight. And the King of Cups. I think my friends more than anybody know that whether it's me seeing things from this perspective or them seeing things from this perspective, it's about love and care and protection. The King of Cups, the throne of movement, And that is beautiful to me, that my friends see my heart and my emotions in this. That is heartwarming to me, that my friends see my heart and emotions in this, whichever perspective we are looking from. All right. And so the next one up is, how would you like to be seen? I'd like to be seen as a 3 of drums or pence or coins. I'd like to be seen as somebody who works together, learns from others, and has a lot to learn. As someone who's been mentored, and I'm getting pretty close to 50 folks, and as somebody who has gone from being mentored into a role of mentoring, this is how I'd like to be seen. I have a stellium in Aries in the 9th house. Learning and knowledge is so important to me. That is where my MC is. That's where my my drive is in that whole stellium. And I want that to be recognized. Like, I'm a Leo rising. I want it to be recognized. I want to be recognized. So this is how I would love to be seen. So we are going to shuffle up again. This isn't entirely in your view, but that does make it. All right. And so we have the 8 of Wands. Mercury in Sagittarius, heavy energy in the 9th house, Gemini, Sun and Mercury, direct action. Direct action. Who I actually am. Direct action. I keep trying to retire from activism and pass it on to my children, who have absolutely picked up the torch. But who I am is that person who runs heading off towards direct action. Just passion blazing, a confidence that says we might fail, but I'm not gonna. I had the backup plan, but I'm not focusing on that because we have to go and get this done. So there we go. Okay. Probably these are the 2 most disconnected so far. So there you go. There you go. All right. I guess also this is saying I have a pride in how I would like to be seen. And also, this is definitely who I've presented myself as for over 30 years. So that makes sense too. All right. Who you actually are. Knight of Wands. I see myself as both the Knight of Wands and the Queen of Swords. That Knight of Wands, they burn so bright they run out. But it takes stamina to burn all the way to burn out. And energetic and passion. And I also chose the Lovers because I am a Gemini, and since the Oracle of Colonization has the shadow arcana, the shadow to the Lovers is righteous rage. I guess this is sort of like he sits between these two, right? Like that passion's about love and rage, right? I am passionate, and it's about love and rage. Okay, next World Tarot. What card is the Spirit's going to bring forth to say about this? Who I actually am. So many cards. So many cards. Okay. So, I thought, since we got 3 piles here, let's see what it has to say. Judgment. Christy C Road's judgment is fire in Aries, Mars. It's about this rising up. It's goes with direct action, doesn't it? The 10 of Cups, safety. Again, fire and passion, love and rage. Love and rage. I think both the Sun and the 10 of Cups can be summed up with that. Who I have to say, these are, well, this makes 100% sense. This is eye-opening and beautiful. I actually struggle with the 10 of Cups. And one of the things I love about this deck is this is a 10 of Cups that I can relate to in creating your own safe space and family to raise your family against all the odds, and that comes from this place, fire and Leo. Mars and Pisces. Fascinating is that my Pisces moon sits just behind my Aries Mars. They'd be conjunct if they were in the same sign and house. And the sun is love and happiness despite the clouds, despite the difficulties. So that is beautiful and fascinating. And I think these, aren't too far off. This is fascinating. The most off was how I would like to be seen. And I think the cards are like, you think that's really how you want to be seen? You do take joy in how folks see you. You take pride in it. I think I take pride in the work I've done for over 30 years, I do take pride in the work that I've done for over 30 years. And Leo rising, I do want that to be seen. The 2 that came up exactly the same was how my Scoop family sees me. I nailed that. Fuck those bastards. Fuck those bastards. Well, folks, that was insightful. I enjoyed it. I'm going to blame that Leo rising for why I enjoyed being told who I am. I think this is a beautiful and insightful spread. It asks us to look really hard at ourselves, and I hope others partake in it too. And let me know in the comments if you've done a VR that I maybe have or haven't seen yet, or your thoughts on it. Maybe you don't want to do a VR, but wouldn't mind answering 1 or 2 of the questions yourself. Leave it in the comments if you do. As always, check the description box. You can find some of the others tagged in there, and you can also find out how to book me on my website for readings. You can follow me on Patreon and support my coffee table tarot spread book, as well as like sign up for monthly services, and you can access all of that on Discord. And even if you aren't a Patreon follower, I also have a public access portion of my Discord where we have safe and friendly tarot discussions together. And I hope to see you there and get to know you better. Talk to you later, folks.